Hello, I'm George. This is Fat Ninja Food Forest. This is actually some Fat Ninja Food Forest soil. This out of some of our planter beds. I'm sorry, our pots. We grow some potted plants in the summertime. I'm just using this. I was in here in the microscope room looking at these, and I had a bit of compost tea left over from a few days, and I left it around, so it started to go anaerobic. I thought this would be a good time to show the difference in the two. So we're looking at this one here. We're seeing some nice aggregation stuff all over the place. We can start to make out some testate amoeba if we look close, and some pieces of fungi. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So that was looking at it at 10x. Now we've gone into 40x. Here we can see a real nice testate amoeba. Another one there. Testate just means there's a shell. So there's the shell, the double wall around it, and a mouth on one end. Next to it, I saw some flagellates moving around, at least one flagellate moving around there. I'm going to go in a little closer. We can see it there, I believe, right next to it. We'll center that. Go in a little closer. Oh, there's movement. And so that's the testate amoeba, at least one flagellate, maybe two next to them. The flagellate just means there's a flagellum. There's going to be one tongue, one long tail like looking thing, one or two tall long tails, usually just one. I believe that's what it is, the way it's moving. We have that other testate amoeba over here, I believe, right there. It's a good looking one right there. And the smaller things we see moving in different ways are going to be bacteria. So we're seeing those bacteria all separate, moving around. They're dancing around, jiggling around. There's some rod-shaped ones. We don't want to see ones that look like a long Z, or a long snake. We don't see any of those. And the way we tell the difference between when I say good and bad is there's signs of how much oxygen is in the environment. So this is a sign of a well-oxygenated environment. We're seeing these testate amoebas, all these bacteria that we want to see. We'll look around a little bit and find some fungi, some spores, or some hyphae. There's one right there, I believe. I don't see any septas in it, but I believe that's one that's broken off. It might be an old broken up amoeba next to them. And it's hard to compare soil to compost, but my soils do have a lot of compost in them, so we can see all the same players that we should see. There's a nice piece there with the septas in it. So we're seeing everything we want to see here. We'll back off to 100x. Just do a little look around. Nice fungal spore. That oval shaped one there. Just real nice aggregation. Nice breakup of the soil particles. We're going to see more yellowish ones. Pieces of minerals are going to be, that's going to be, there's lactic acid and fulvic acid. That's probably going to be lactic acid. It might just be a piece of soil. Clear is going to be minerals. There's another spore there. Back where we were. Another one there. That's more fulvic, I believe. So let's pause here, and I'm going to go ahead and go to another sample, the sample of compost tea, and then that's going to be more anaerobic as compared to this aerobic environment. So here's the other slide. This is the sample of what was a aerobic compost tea extract. I just extracted some of the compost by soaking it in water, but I've let it set a few days, so it's gone anaerobic. We're seeing things clump up. It's a larger ciliate, I believe, there. But now we're going to back off to 40x. And let's hunt around a little bit, and we'll show you some of these large ciliates that are in here. I was talking earlier, there's a nice piece of humic acid. I found a whole bunch in here earlier. Where did they go? There's one side of the slide. We'll go down a little. You see how things are patched up more into chunks? Well, there's a lot of them in here earlier. What did I do? Where'd they go? the flagellate. And these, see the bacteria get all clumped up. We'll look at that more when we zoom in. I'm going to, oh, there's one there. There we are. So all these ciliates are a sign of low oxygen environment. We're going to zoom in, see if we can see one of these close up. We'll see all the hairs are on their body, cilia. That's how they move around. Let me see, there's a whole bunch of them. If you see 3 to even 5 per slide, you're okay. But we're seeing that in almost one frame. We're zoomed into 100x here. See them going to work. So that's telling us it's anaerobic. I looked, I didn't see any. We'll go in closer to 400x. There goes one. Now we're looking for a certain type of bacteria. And I didn't see them in here earlier. And they would be a spirilla, a Z-shaped bacteria. We don't mind the rods and the little dots, the cocci and the bacilli. But we're also in here seeing clumps of bacteria, some clumping up of bacterias. Things we don't want to see. So that's just some different ways to tell. I thought that was a amoeba, but I'm not sure. That would be a not a testate amoeba, but a regular shellless amoeba. Just an amoeba. Not sure though. Don't see it moving at all. So let's go back out one more time, all the way. And we see all the action in an anaerobic environment. So that tells us it's an anaerobic environment. Well, that's one sign of it. They're a lot more fun to look at. We're going to see a lot more activity in there, but it's also a sign of that low oxygen environment. We know that this tea is not something we want to use anymore. I'm George, Bad Ninja Food Forest. Change is better than holiday. Peace.